Ren and Stimpy was a really groundbreaking show that audiences in the 90s loved due to its over-the-top, crude humor and its disregard of the idea that cartoons have to preach good morals. It represented a pivotal moment in cartoons, not just for Nickelodeon's children's animation, but also animation that appealed to teenagers and adults too, much like Beavis and Butthead. It was a show that was fun, goofy, crude, and even morbid. And in many ways, it was dark. So of course, there have been plenty of dark theories concocted by fans that really showcase Ren and Stimpy in a whole new light.
Looky, Ren, I finished your cheerleader outfit.
I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and today we're taking a look at the dark theories about Ren and Stimpy that might ruin your childhood. Ah heck, you already knew this show was demented, so these won't ruin anything. But maybe they'll help us make sense of some things.
I don't think you're happy enough.
Ren and Stimpy are victims of animal cruelty. Why does Ren act so aggressive and psychotic, and why does Stimpy act so stupid? Many viewers conclude that this is just their real nature. Ren is just insane, and Stimpy was never too lucky with the number of brain cells that he received.
Sure thing, Ren.
But one of the darker theories explains their erratic behavior by confirming both of them as victims of animal cruelty. They were regular animals before, but somebody had abused them so much that Ren got numerous mental disorders and Stimpy's intelligence went straight down the drain.
Alright, everybody out! I gotta go potski.
Ren and Stimpy might have even not been abused by the same person. By chance, they ended up together in the same show, connected by brutal histories of physical and mental abuse. Another similar theory states that Ren has post-traumatic stress disorder, also known as PTSD. When you think about it, these dark theories do make sense. We jump to the conclusion that Ren is a real lunatic,
That's it!
and Stimpy is dumber than a tree stump. But what if we try to explain their actions relying on their circumstances, not their character? We'd hate to think of our Nickelodeon pets as victims of psychological abuse, but given their behavior, it's not all that far-fetched.
My faithful idiot is preparing the repast for tonight's guests.
In any case, if you are a certified animal psychotherapist specialized in chihuahuas, let us know in the comments section below. Ren is lobotomized. Lobotomy. Doesn't that word just sound really dark? Well, in case you didn't know what lobotomy means, it's the surgical removal of connections in a certain part of the brain. Once hailed as the holy grail of treating insanity, nowadays this inhumane procedure has been banned in most countries all around the world. Spoiler alert, it's an awful way to treat mental illness. But the question is whether lobotomy completely messed up Ren. In the episode Ren Needs Help, he takes a bath while Stimpy intentionally destroys all of his possessions. When Ren sees the results, he tries to act calmly, but he can't hold his composure for long. Soon, he plunges into a psychotic depression and tries to kill himself by crawling into a trash compactor.
I'll fix it, Ren! I promise!
Stimpy grows concerned about Ren's behavior and he decides to call the Shady Brain Farm. The guys from the institution take Ren away.
Ren needs help!
At first, it looks like Ren is actually doing good and even participating in some group therapy sessions. Soon, it turns out there's something unforgivable about this place. They only serve creamed corn. Ren absolutely hates that stuff. After a second lunch of this disgusting food, Ren freaks out and tells the other patients to escape because they aren't crazy at all.
That's very funny. Creamed corn.
Well, after this incident, Ren is taken away to be lobotomized. The episode ends with Ren all suited up, dressed as a president to give a speech. But the user Colossal Chaos on Wattpad feels that this ending was used to give the messed up episode a more cartoony feel to distract us from the nightmare fuel. But stretching this theory out, maybe this episode hints about the roots of Ren's insanity. There's a chance he might have been lobotomized the whole time. The procedure turned out wrong, as they almost always tend to, and the wrong wiring in his brain made him the way he is. For some fans of Ren and Stimpy, this episode serving as a prequel to all the other stories makes a lot of sense, and that's creepy. Ren and Stimpy were real-life pets. People love to trace back shows' origins to its creators and their lives before making the series. This theory goes back to a young boy who lived in Canada. His life wasn't the best. Others always made fun of the boy in school because he constantly made jokes about boogers, farting, and other stuff like that. Everyone hated him, calling him a disgusting weirdo, even the teachers. As you might imagine, he didn't have a lot of friends. Actually, the boy's only friends were 2 pets at home. One of the pets was a Chihuahua.
Oh my gosh. What's wrong, man?
Friendly with the owner, but overly aggressive with strangers. The other pet was a really fat cat. The boy drew cartoons of the pets doing all sorts of fun things together and having some really strange adventures along the way. But the Chihuahua had attacked someone when the boy hit his teenage years. After this incident, the small but ferocious dog had to be put down. Soon enough, the cat followed the same road after dying of old age. They were buried right next to each other. Now, the depression really swallowed the boy. Only things left from his pets were numerous cartoons. What now? He thought about it hard and finally decided to do something with all those drawings. Years later, after growing up, he became an animator and made an award-winning cartoon series based on his 2 deceased friends.
Check this out, Ren.
The boy is John Kricfalusi, and the show is Ren and Stimpy. Well, to be honest, this fan theory was just as elaborate, and as much time that went into it, it's been debunked. The much simpler truth was that Stimpy was based off of a cat that John would constantly doodle in school, and Ren was based off of a Chihuahua he once saw in a postcard. Ren is actually John Kricfalusi. Since the cartoon was shocking to audiences when it came out, its creator, John Kricfalusi, got quite a lot of attention as well, but none of this compares to the scrutiny he received in 2018. All the disturbing press materials sparked a very dark theory about Ren's character.
Stimpy, I've been a fool.
In 2018, 2 women accused Kricfalusi of misconduct, causing many fans to revisit his work and past interviews with a new, revealing perspective. But this actual theory grew from the statement given by his lawyer to BuzzFeed. He said that Kricfalusi had struggled with mental illnesses over the years and was eventually diagnosed in 2008.
I can't stand it anymore!
For almost 3 decades, he had relied primarily on drinking alcohol to self-medicate. The theory suggests that this is what gave birth to the idea that Ren might actually have been John Kricfalusi himself. Maybe Ren characterized the parts of Kricfalusi's mind that he never showed to other people in real life. So for some, Ren isn't a Chihuahua at all. Instead, he's just the cartoon rendition of a dark human mind. And this theory might be a good explanation as to why the show was so demented.
I'm gonna finish my cartoon.
The show is a social experiment. The following theory has been described by many fans across message boards and online communities. What if the whole Ren and Stimpy series was John Kricfalusi's social experiment involving the viewers and TV executives?
Of course it's hot and stinky. It's a carcass rotting in the sun!
Just think about it. While there have been many children's cartoons depicting violence, even classical ones like Tom and Jerry, this particular cartoon definitely broke some taboos because it was much bolder in its use of darker themes. There's no denying that there is a lot of humor that just would not be greenlit on Nickelodeon today, or any children's network for that matter. Many would argue that this is a real shame, considering that there is a pretty compelling argument that older cartoons were more likely to treat their children audiences as if they were smarter and capable of seeing things that weren't always cookie-cutter family friendly.
Hey, Ren, I like my job. How about you?
Well, maybe the creator had a grand experiment in mind. How long can you roll out these disturbing episodes without any outraged parents suing you, or before Nickelodeon's tired executives canceled your show?
Crap! Were you there? Huh? Were you?
He did manage to keep it up for a while. Many say the breaking point was an episode called Man's Best Friend. The channel refused to air the episode as it contains tobacco references and Ren frantically beating a guy called Mr. Liquor with an oar. Yes, the line had been crossed. For some people, it was a sad day because Nickelodeon hired a new head writer.
I'm out of here, man.
For others, it was an expected conclusion for an elaborate social experiment turned into a conspiracy that's still more believable than the Flat Earth theory. After all, when you look back at Ren and Stimpy in its original form, you can definitely see how a theory like this exists. The crudeness was what made all of us fall in love with the show, regardless of the fact that the story was completely void of morals or preachy messaging, and despite the fact that the creator may or may not have been a complete degenerate, viewers liked the show because it crossed lines, it was crude, and it wasn't afraid to be dark and even morbid at times.
Yikes, man! That toilet seat is colder than a well-digger's chicken!
In many ways, this has become a lost art that many people hope one day will return to animation. But what do you think? Ren and Stimpy was a show that really blew past several boundaries and was full of dark themes. Do you have any dark theories about the show? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. But most importantly, stay wicked.